Happy Monday. So, we're going to start a new weekly Monday in your living room, in your kitchen, in your bedroom yoga for beginners, all levels. You don't need to be an expert, you don't need to be in great shape. The keys we're going to focus on are breathing, transitioning between different poses, and really trying to stretch out our core, our back, some of the stuff that normally aches day to day. And it's a great starting point for anyone that wants to start working on their fitness. Begin here with beginner yoga on a Monday. So first, deep inhale. Let's reach our hands straight up to the heavens. And then exhale, bring our arms down. In fact, why don't I just tip this up a little bit for the beginning. Second time, deep breath. Exhale. Let's intertwine our fingers straight up in the air. And for all of our beginners that are just starting, if you can't exactly hit a pose, that's okay. Try to do your best. So if you can't intertwine your fingers and get over your head, see how high you can get. Or don't intertwine your fingers and go straight up. Now let's lean to the right side, either fingers intertwined or you could have them apart and parallel. I'll show you intertwined on this side. And what we're doing is a nice soft stretch on our lower back and on our obliques while just staying up in the air and on our feet. Now let's keep our arms out to the side and do very slow, under control, side to side twists. If you feel a little burn in your shoulders right now, that's good, that's okay. You're probably not used to working them, stretching them out early in the morning. Okay, now let's bring our arms together. As I said in the beginning, one of the key things for yoga is to make sure that you're not taking crazy stoppages in between poses. You want to keep flowing. So I apologize when I go change my computer screen, but outside of that, you'll notice we really try to stay in a flow state. So now I'm taking my right foot, you can see that sock, and putting it up toward my groin. Right now I have it just about at above my knee. If you have to start down at your calf, if you have to start just by taking your foot off the ground, that's totally fine. But balance is absolutely key to strength, flexibility, and ultimately injury prevention. So it's a really good tool to practice. And the simple tree pose is the way to start. So we got our right side. Let's put the foot down for a moment. And then let's come right back into a quad stretch. Exhale. Make sure you're really feeling flush on your foot. You'll also notice when I change views, I am not wearing shoes. And I think that's the better approach when you're doing yoga. So you can really feel the balance on your feet, on your toes. Now a little bit more challenging. Let the foot release. Try not to touch the ground. And we're not going to go through the whole sequence, but we are going to try to grab our right knee with our left hand. Ooh, lost balance, reset. It's going to happen a lot for beginners. Right knee with our left hand, and then look over our right shoulder. This is going to work on balance. This is going to stretch out your obliques, your lower back, and it's great for the stomach. Bring the foot down. Let's go with the left side. Tree pose. Good morning, everybody. The chat looks like it's bumping. So I was really thinking about it this weekend, and I think my crazy workouts are fun, but to be more helpful to people, starting every week, let's get our balance from that tree pose. With beginner yoga, it's going to be both great for the body to reset for someone that exercises a lot like me and isn't exactly a spring chicken. And I think it also gives everybody out there every Monday an opportunity to start something new. And you don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to get equipment. This is going to just be beginner yoga, which even for somebody that's a gym rat is incredibly useful and helpful. Now we're grabbing our left knee with our right hand, and looking over our left shoulder. Okay. One of the other things with yoga that I think a lot of people underestimate is a lot of times you want to hit poses and hold them and feel that strength. So right now, I'm just going into a seated pose. I'm going to bring my hands into a prayer. And I'm not going full down into a 90-degree parallel. Instead, I'm at about 45 degrees. I'm keeping my knees straight up above my toes. And I'm just feeling the burn here in my butt, and my hamstrings, and my groin, my quads, and just letting the legs activate without asking a ton of them. We're going to try to hold this, focus on our breathing. If you're a beginner and you're a little higher up, or you need to take a couple little breaks, that's okay. But I definitely encourage you to try to get that little micro squat in and hold the pose. Now we're going to come back to our feet. Apologize, I have to keep changing that camera angle just so you guys can see properly. So now with our feet at about shoulder width apart, we're coming straight down. Notice how I let my head drop. And with 3 exhales, I get deeper and deeper. Now, if you can only get to your thighs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, that's fine. If you're just starting out, your baseline is your baseline. It's nothing to be discouraged by. And I promise you, when I first started stretching, I could probably only get to about my knees. But over time, if you work at it, your hamstrings, your back, your core is really going to open up and enable you to bend forward. Another one I like is grabbing the opposite elbows, letting the weight really do the work, let gravity do its work. Focus on the breath and get as low as you can. And we're going to roll up slowly so you don't get lightheaded. Anytime our head is down, we want to make sure that we don't let ourselves have too much blood rush to the head. I intertwined fingers there. I went big, wide, and high before coming back low. Feet are the same, except now I've got my left fist on the ground. If it's easier, you can go with your fingertips. And my left knee is bent. My right leg is straight, and my right arm is up in the air. This is going to really help open up your right hamstring, your right back, lower back, and your oblique. Wonderful for injury prevention, good for the digestive system, and good for injury prevention. The other side. We roll back up slowly. We're going to spread our feet more. Come down. Touch both toes. Same idea with feet apart. One hand down, one hand up. Really breathe. Take your time with each pose. When you find poses that really feel good for your body, don't rush it. If anything, feel free to hit it multiple times. Feel free to use it in your everyday regular exercises. Now we're going to come back up. We're going to come back down into a squat position. And what we're going to try to do is, for beginners, take both your hands and try to move them to one side. And for experts or for intermediate, what we're trying to do is keep our hands together and get that left elbow on the outside of the right knee, looking up to the right. So again, for beginners, if you can't make that full twist, even if you get right here and try to look up halfway or 3/4, eventually you'll get here. Coming back the other side, same idea, working your way as far as you can get. And exhaling. Coming back, touching our toes again. Now we're going to stagger our feet with our front foot bent and our left leg as our base. We're going to start by putting our right hand behind our back. Again, our right leg is straight, our left leg is bent, and we're going to reach backward. Now you should really feel a nice stretch here on your left side with minimal, if any, kind of pressure in your lower back. You should really be stretching and not straining. Come back even. Straighten your left leg down into triangle. Now for beginners, this is going to be very challenging, particularly trying to get this hand far down. So the key here is keeping our legs straight. You can see this foot's reaching forward, this foot's the anchor, but the leg stays straight even if you can only reach your knee. And eventually you want to get all the way down, and you're creating a triangle between your hand and the 2 feet. Now we come back up. I think a lot of times people are intimidated by yoga because it's got a kind of feel that it's for experts and people that are super fit and all that kind of stuff. When the reality is it's for everybody. And as you can see, I'm not really using the proper yoga terminology. I'm just describing stretches to you guys because that's really all we're doing here. So now we're doing the same thing, opposite side, triangle. And then we're going to go reverse triangle. To be honest, I'm not sure if I did reverse triangle on both sides. If I didn't, I apologize. And then one last thing from my feet that I like to do, called the Clemmer stretch from all of his movie reviews, but getting down into a seated squat and then pushing out with our elbows. This used to be a great alternative to the butterfly when we had lacrosse games and it was raining out, and we were the only, shout out Hen Hud, the only high school, I think probably in the section, that didn't have a new lacrosse field when I was still playing. So we played in the mud, we played in the dirt. You didn't want to look like you shit your pants when the game started with, you know, all the cute girls that you have a crush on watching. So this is how we would do this. This is how we'd avoid getting our booties all soggy before the game even started. Touching our toes one last time, rolling up. Now I'm going to move the camera down, and we're going to get into some work here on the ground game. And right now our legs should be feeling pretty nice and loose after a good start with solid stretches. Good morning, everybody. Look at the chat popping. Love you guys. All right. Let me move this up just a little bit. So these are going to be stretches that you can really use for the rest of your life. I can't emphasize enough how much this will help with injury prevention and just general strength. So we're starting with our cat-cows. And I know it's a little dark in here. Let me make sure my angle's good. Here we go. So if you notice, my toes are actually tucked beneath here. You see, they're tucked. And I'm on all fours. So by having my toes down, my knees down, my hands down, for beginners, there's really one, two, three different places you're distributing weight. So you shouldn't feel a ton of stress here. With that said, inhale, create a nice bridge with your back. Like you're making it enough of an arch so that a boat could go underneath. And then come down. And you're letting that tailbone sink between your hips as far as it'll go. Now, for beginners, you're probably not going to get a huge arch in your back early on. It's going to be more subtle. So if you're a beginner, you might just be like here. And that's okay. But make sure you're breathing. And make sure you're really letting yourself sink on the bottom of your cat-cows. Now let's count out 5 nice ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn over onto our butts. Traditional butterfly. We want to push down on our calf muscles with our forearms, trying to get the knees as close to the ground as we can. This is frankly one of my weaker stretches, but something that I'll continue to work on. Now we find out if I have any holes in my socks. These are my backup white socks. Whenever I have on white socks, those are considered my backup socks. Shout out Jerry Reinsdorf. Okay, straight ahead, touching our toes. This is another stretch where a lot of people will get discouraged, or they'll feel like they're never making progress because the progress is so slow. It's so tedious. It's bit by bit. But you're going to start somewhere around your knees, your shins, your ankles. And if you're a little bit overweight, if you have a stomach, it's going to be harder and harder to be able to get further. So as time goes on, it's going to get easier. And eventually you want to be able to really grab those feet while your legs are completely flat. Then we're going to reach to one foot's outside. Now, if you can't get that far, look for that right knee, right shin, right calf area. But eventually we're getting all the way up here, really working our right hamstring, and then on the other side of our body, our left oblique, simultaneously. Go to the other side. Same idea. Now we're going to come straight up to seated. It's one of my very favorite stretches for anybody with lower back issues. This is a tremendous help. We do it again slowly. Our right foot over our left knee, using my right hand for just a little bit of support behind me. Left hand goes up in the air. Big breath. Exhale. Bringing that left elbow over the right knee. Big breath again. Exhale. And obviously stretching out our back as well as getting a great twist in our stomach. Good for your digestive system whenever you're making twist movements like this. Now we switch it up. Okay. Coming back onto all fours. We're going to do another set of 5 cat-cows. Different angle for you. So you can see that push up into the bridge and then down low. Even if you have no interest in going to the gym regularly or doing cardio or lifting weights, just a beginner yoga routine, even a couple times a week, can do wonders in terms of injury prevention. Now, let me actually change angle here as we get into our donkey kicks, our knee to elbows. So what we're doing here is we're going to move our left knee in between our hands, and then we're going to go right knee to right elbow and then straight back. If you can only kick straight back like this, that's okay for beginners. We want to try to go up in the air though, really maximizing the glute without using any weight, without putting it in a strenuous position. It's a very clean kick up into the air that you're going to feel right in the butt cheek. And if you do it correctly, you might feel a little sore tomorrow, to which you got to respond with at least a couple minutes of stretching it out. But that's how you build strength and muscle. To be honest, I lost count. That's about 10. And then we'll put our right knee down, plant it toward the middle, and then do the same thing on the left side with 10. I'll count this time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From here, staying on all fours, put the left knee back in the middle. Fire hydrants, named after dogs peeing on fire hydrants. Go for 10. This is going to open up your hips. And if any of these movements feel a little bit peculiar because you're not used to using these muscles, that's a really good thing. That means you're activating stuff that's been dormant. At the same time, you want to go slowly. You want to focus on form so as not to strain yourself. Left side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now we are going to let ourselves fall back with our knees wide into child's pose. You want your butt to sink between your knees as far as it can go. You look at my fingers, they're crawling forward, extenuating the stretch in my back. And breathing. Now coming back up, we're going to go into downward facing dog. So I tuck my toes and come up. For beginners, this is hard, holding yourself up in an extended plank in a downward facing dog. So feel free to keep your knees or one knee, whatever you need down. But for a beginner, try doing downward facing dog like this, on your knees. Then you're going to come forward. Weights on your hands. Vinyasana, which means you're just keeping your torso above the ground. And then upward facing dog. So again, Vinyasana, downward facing dog, Vinyasana, upward facing dog. This is one of the most traditional classic flows in yoga. And a lot of people are discouraged when they can't do it right off the bat. So try doing it from your knees like I am right now. This is going to help warm up the entire body, stretching out the back, working the chest, working the shoulders, working the triceps. Now we'll come up to a full-blown downward facing dog. What I'm going to do is pedal my feet. If you watch them closely, right now my left leg is bent. My right leg has the heel all the way down and the other way. What this does is stretches out your calves with great focus on each one individually. Great for loosening up for the day, great for injury prevention. Now that we're up, let's do a Vinyasana, upward facing dog, downward facing dog properly. And then what we're going to do, and if you're a beginner, you need to start on your knees, it's okay. Take one foot, move it forward, one hand down, and turn into a twisting stretch. Now, if you're at the intermediate, higher level, you're going to come up into your full-blown downward facing dog, step forward so you're just on your 2 feet, one hand down, look up to the sky. Exhale, reach forward. Go back to the other side. Start with a beginner. So we have our foot on the floor, one knee up, one knee down, and a twist and stretch. Exhale, reach forward. Come up to downward facing dog. Kick that 1 foot forward. Twist. Exhale, reach forward. Now staying up in an extended plank, we're going to take our right leg, we're going to bend it, we're going to come forward with it, let it down nice and gently. My back leg is flat on the ground, and we're in a pigeon pose. Going to open up your hips, stretch out the legs nicely. Back up, left leg, knees bent, lower, pigeon pose. Now, one way I like to start on sit-ups for beginners, because sit-ups are another exercise that can feel a little bit demoralizing if you haven't been in the gym in a long time, is to simply flat on your back, feet are bent, knees are up. Take a deep breath. We're going to lift our arms. We're going to try to touch our right ankle with our right hand, our left ankle with our left hand, right ankle with our right hand, left ankle with our left hand. And while staying in this little crunch position, we're going side to side. We're warming up the stomach. We're strengthening the back. And we're getting ourselves in a position where our body's getting prepared to be able to do sit-ups down the line. But not right now, not today. We're not going to do a set of 100. We're working on those muscles in our core to make this feasible in the future. We get to 10. We're going to bring our knees together into a tight ball. Exhale. And we're going to let our feet come down flat. Right knee goes up. Hands are flat on the ground. And let's bring our right knee right across our body. And feel that stretch in your lower back as you breathe. Getting the right knee as close to the ground as possible while the left leg is flat on the ground. Come back up, ball, other side. Staying on our backs, we're going to plant our feet. For beginners, you do the best you can with this in terms of getting up high. I'm going to try to scooch in a little so my my shoulder blades are as close to my feet as I can with comfort. We're getting into air humps. For beginners, you're going to really feel this in your butt. You're going to really feel this in your lower back. And even if you can only do 1 or 2 reps, that's fine. Try to hold it right here. Try to maintain the flex and the burn necessary to stay up in the air. As we get better at this, we eventually will plant one foot and have the other leg go straight up in the air. But for beginners, let's try to start with some basic air humps. You're going to really feel it in your groin. You're going to feel it all the way up into your abs if you're doing it correctly. Now we're going to roll back onto our stomach. And what we're going to do is keep our hips, our legs, our feet flat on the ground. We're going to put our hands here right next to our pecs. And we're going to come up into an up dog push-up and slowly come down. Very low impact, low stress way to pump up your chest, work your triceps, elongate the back without any major strain. You should be able to do this slowly, under control. And for beginners, if you can only get up this high to start, that's okay. Practice and make sure you breathe so that when you're at your high point, you have full flexibility. Now we're going to come back to child's pose. And then we're going to lean forward again. For beginners, if you need to keep 1 knee or 2 knees down, that's okay. But we're going to try to get into a plank. These are really good to practice. Now for beginners, if you get really tired really quickly, just drop 2 knees. Catch your breath, back up. You're winded, drop your knees. Back up. And that's how you're going to build up your endurance. That's how you're going to build up your strength in your stomach. But don't just try to do the best you can for one and then collapse. Be under control, knees down. Back up. Until eventually you have the exercise down pat. Sun's starting to come up. Okay. Now this one's going to be tough on the abs. But laying on our back, we're going to take our legs, hands behind the head, and we're simply going to lift them up about 45 degrees off the ground and back down. This will eventually build into reverse crunches, but even this slight leg movement is extremely difficult, particularly for beginners, and particularly if you're not holding on to anything. Hands are behind my back. but this will absolutely shred up your stomach, build up your abdominal muscles, as well as your groin, your hips. Try to go for 10 or 20. Then we're coming back up to seated, feet apart. We're going to touch each toe. Exhale. Feel it in your back. Feel the connection between your arms, your legs, your hips, your lower back, your torso, your abs, your chest. Everything should be in unison. Now let's go both hands to the right side of the foot. Sorry, to the right foot. Heads down. Really feeling this in our left hamstring. Sorry, right hamstring as well as our left oblique. And then switching over to the other side. Now we're going to come into seated, very relaxed position. We're going to have our hands at our sides, and we're going to do some seated twists. Twisting is a underrated movement, in my opinion, that really helps work the entire upper body, strengthening your back, your abdominal, your obliques. And by keeping my elbows up and out like this, my shoulders, my traps, my biceps, even my triceps, and definitely my pecs all get engaged with each twist. It's a secret little way to almost get a mini pump without using any weights. It's also a really nice way within a yoga flow to get your heart rate up and to get the blood flowing. So it can be a really nice opening movement. So if you ever want to start on your feet, this and cat-cows, great way to start out a yoga session. Okay, now let's come back for one more. Downward dog, upward dog, vinyasana flow. So again, if you're more experienced, come right up to downward facing dog. If you need to have your knees down, have your knees down. I'll do the first one as a beginner. Coming down with my knees. Up to up dog. Back to vinyasana. Downward facing dog on my knees. If you're a little bit more experienced, up on our feet, have our feet as close to flat, if not entirely flat on the ground, meaning the heels are touching the ground. Lean forward, let the body weight shift. Your shoulders are working, your hands are working, forearms are working as we go into vinyasana and upward facing dog. Right back to vinyasana, downward facing dog. Right back to vinyasana, upward facing dog. Right back to vinyasana, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to go into a side plank for beginners. If you can't hold on one leg like this, it's actually a better angle. If you can't hold on one leg like this for a side plank, feel free to use both feet, or you can have one knee down. That's okay. You got to work your strength up, and then eventually you'll have your feet stacked, and you'll be able to hold on one side. Coming the other way, just for the sake of your view, you can see how we want it, with the feet stacked. But the optionality is always to either spread your feet, have one leg down, or some sort of version of that. Now to wrap up, we're going to come back to cat-cow. And at this point, you should not feel really any strain anywhere. What you should feel is loose, maybe a slight sweat coming in. And your legs for the rest of the day are going to be like either Gumby or like tree trunks, where you'll notice it in a good way. And hopefully this becomes a habit for you, whether it be at night, in the morning. And it does not need to be, holy cow, I've done 40 minutes. It does not need to be 40 minutes. You can go for much shorter and get the job done. Okay, our last pose of the day. We're going to cross our legs. We're going to lay flat on our back. We're going to focus on our breathing. Feeling the blood flowing through the entire body. Opening up our hands. Feeling gratitude. Feeling energy for the week. And that's it for our first Monday beginner yoga. I hope you guys found a couple of stretches you may have liked in here. Any feedback is obviously welcome. And this will be our new weekly Monday workout, as we try to get as many people on board to start working on their fitness as we can. Hope everyone has a great Monday. And with that, namaste, my friends. Namaste.